Hey guys, real quick before we get into the video, I just wanted to let you guys know that, since there's going to be a lot of game footage from Cuphead the game, since we're talking about the show that's based off of it, you might be seeing that game footage and think, hey, Avery, why don't you play the game on live stream sometime? That'd be fun. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm very excited to announce that this Sunday, if you're seeing this video when it goes up, that is March 13th, 2022, I am hosting my first ever live stream, and most importantly, it is going to be a charity live stream. We're going to be benefiting Project Hope and their efforts to help with the Ukrainian refugee crisis going on right now. Project Hope is responding to the crisis in Ukraine by providing much needed help on the ground in terms of medicine and medical supplies, insulin, mental health support, and other things that are saving lives as we speak in Ukraine and around Ukraine. They have teams in Ukraine helping people that are still in the country as a literal war goes on around them. And they also have teams in Moldova, Romania, Poland, the surrounding areas where over 2.1 million refugees have fled the country and need dire assistance as well. So it's going to be a really big day. I'm really excited. I'm going to donate my most recent AdSense check to the cause, and we're going to be streaming for about 12 hours, just raising as much money as we can, playing Cuphead, and I've also picked out some fun, chill things to watch live and do live commentary with you guys if we meet our stretch goals. So I'm really excited. It's going to be a really fun day for a really important thing, and I really hope that I can see as many of you there as possible. And yeah, I'll let you get into the video now, but that's what's going on. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, otherwise strange content. Today we're talking about a show that is not old and is not obscure, but it does kind of fall into our wheelhouse of what we do here, mostly because it is a show that is nostalgic for a completely different time. I'm of course talking about the Cuphead Show. The Cuphead Show is Netflix's brand new animated series. It's based off of the very popular game, and if you know anything about this game or this show, you know that it is paying heavy tribute to like the golden age of animation, so the 1920s and 30s. And I just read an interesting article about how the animators of the show really went out of their way to really educate themselves on the history of that sort of animation that they were trying to pay tribute to, and they made sure that they came away educated on the problematic history of that type of animation and really made sure that they were aware of what could be separated from the harmful history and what couldn't, so that while they were being nostalgic and they were bringing this, beautiful animation style into the 21st century, they were also making sure that they weren't reintroducing a new generation to harmful stereotypes. And I think that is a very interesting and very important thing to think about, especially personally as somebody who's constantly diving into the nostalgic, constantly revisiting things of the past. It's, I think, very important to be educated in that way. And because I'm not part of those marginalized groups that are affected by those harmful stereotypes, it's not really my place to comment on any of that history or, how well they divorce this show from that history. But I will say that as far as I'm aware, they really came into this show very carefully and respectfully. And honestly, I just really want to get into this show because I personally very much enjoyed it. I think they did a good job in creating something that paid tribute to a bygone era while keeping it modernized and updated for our current world. And without any further rambling, I'm just going to get into it. This is going to be a long video. I'm going to cover the entire first season of Cuphead in this video, which is something I almost never do on this channel. The reason I'm choosing to do it this way instead of going episode by episode is because the episodes are only 15 minutes long and there are 12 of them. Doing the math, that's 3 hours of content to cover, and I'd really like it to all be in one place. So we are just going to jump right in. I'm going to take you through it. So grab a snack or a drink. I'm chugging coffee because it's not super early in the morning when I'm filming this, but it feels early. Like in my non-morning person brain, I'm just not fully awake yet still, I don't think. We're just gonna jump right in and it's gonna be fantastic. Because this is a new show, I'm not sure how much I can put in as far as like letting clips play, but I am gonna try to see if you can hear part of this intro because it's one of my favorite cartoon intros that I've seen in a while. Come with
me to the Inkwell Isles. It's just off the coast, maybe 29 miles.
I'm a huge fan of old-timey jazz, and they just pay tribute to that era in a great way. So let's start out with our first short, Carnival. This show isn't super heavily plot-driven, but the plot lines that are established and remain throughout the whole season are established here. So for those that aren't aware of the original game plot, we start out with Cuphead and Mugman, who are established as brothers in the show. They're called pals in the original game, but they're brothers in the show, and they live with Elder Kettle, who's like their guardian. We're all sharing pancakes, we're having a grand old time, and then Elder Kettle says, hey,
you get to paint the fence!
Go paint the fence, which is like a recurring gag that they always have to paint the fence and that they always hate it.
What we need is a little fun and adventure!
In an effort to save time, they load a bunch of paint into a cannon and shoot the fence.
How's that?
And Elder Kettle, I'm sure that saved them a lot of trouble in the end. And then on their way to get more paint, they stumble across a carnival. Carnival, you get it. So they're having a ton of fun. They're having more fun than I had when I was playing the carnival levels in the actual game. Well, actually, I loved that game. I had fun. I was just frustrated and wanted to cry because the levels were so hard. But anyway, they're about to leave when Cuphead finds a game called Soul Ball. It's like skee ball. This is the big main deviation between the cartoon and the game. The game is a lot darker, wherein it starts with Cuphead and Mugman losing their souls to the actual devil by betting them on dice. And in this cartoon, which is clearly meant to be sort of like a Saturday morning cartoon thing for kids, they take out the gambling, and he's playing skee ball now. And on that note, it's very interesting because as much as the game is animated in the style of early 1930s animation, the mechanisms of it are very much like an 80s or 90s classic video game like Mega Man or something like that. This cartoon, while it's animated and has the film grain of like an old-timey cartoon and the music in the background, it very much reminds me of like a Saturday morning cartoon from the 90s, right? It very much reminds me specifically of the rebooted DuckTales. Kind of like a modern version of a 90s classic. But anyway, Cuphead's playing Soul Ball and he's winning, but then the much more cautious Mugman realizes that when you don't win, when you miss, game takes your soul. Poor little telephone.
Carnival. Evil!
So Mugman's like, shit.
Everyone loves a carnival.
Oh, and here's our first look at the devil in this show. He's my favorite, by the way. He's very sassy.
In case you ain't heard, I'm the devil.
And he's just funneling people's souls from this carnival.
Heedly, 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 heed.
Imagine having your soul stolen and then you're just forever in eternity just being the devil's backup singer, right? That's gotta suck.
I was singing!
The soul counter stopped.
But all of a sudden, he can't get any more souls because Cuphead is not only winning over and over at Soul Ball, but everybody has stopped what they're doing to watch him win, so Satan is very upset about this. His name isn't Satan, he's the devil. I'm gonna try to keep those not mixed up.
Oh, terrific. Looks like we have a real show-off.
I love the voice acting done for the devil. It reminds me very much of Hank Azaria doing his impersonation of Boris Karloff in Night at the Museum 2.
You did all three! You spoke, and you reached your hand across.
If you know, you know. So he makes a very big entrance.
The devil! Cuphead! Watch it!
Cuphead gets distracted and loses, so now he owes the devil his soul.
I love it when they run.
So now Satan's chasing after them, being a real asshole about it. And you'll definitely see some direct references to famous cartoons in this sequence and throughout the whole show. There's a video, I'll link it. Someone did a really great compilation of scenes from Cuphead and the kind of like Easter eggs that are referencing other things. But in this chaos, they accidentally blow up the soul ball machine, so everybody gets their soul back. including that guy's hot dog, which it concerns me that the hot dog he was eating had a soul. I don't care for that.
You don't just get to run away!
So they escaped, but now Cuphead owes the devil his soul. So the devil is going to be looking to collect for the rest of the show.
We rode rides, and you owe the devil your soul. We played games, and you owe the devil your soul.
Mugman is the picture of anxiety, and Cuphead is the picture of what someone without anxiety disorder seems like to somebody with anxiety disorder. Does that make sense, what I just said? I think that makes sense.
And you owe the devil your soul. I ain't too worried about it.
Alright, so that's the first episode. Now we move on to episode 2, Baby Bottle. I love all these intros that look like old-timey shorts.
I'm off to my weekly mustache wax.
Elder Kettle is going to get his mustache waxed. It's a metal mustache, so I assume he doesn't get it, like, waxed off. I assume he has it waxed like you wax a car. Anyway, he leaves the boys in charge with 2 rules. No fighting, and do not even breathe on my radio, because it is my most prized possession. He leaves, they automatically start doing what he specifically told them not to do.
Why are we fighting again? 'Cause we're not supposed to? Right.
Fair logic. And then a random baby gets left on their doorstep. It's a baby bottle. I think that's very funny. This is just mostly served as a filler episode, but it does make me wonder if Cuphead and Mugman were left on Elder Kettle's doorstep in much the same way, and that's very sad. Yes, this baby's a little demon child. Not the books. I get freaked out when people rip pages out of books. He tries to assassinate the fish, and this is one of my favorite gags in the show.
Glass on the floor? The baby could get hurt. Well, baby broke the fishbowl.
It's hilarious, and it raises so many questions about the anatomy of Cuphead and Mugman, which will keep happening throughout the show.
There's something wrong with that baby. We gotta get rid of it. Not a chance, Cuphead.
So they get locked out, but Mugman is certain that he can fix this baby.
Elder Kettle's radio!
If anything happens to that radio, they're fucked, so they have to make sure that doesn't happen.
I've had this bear since I was a tiny baby.
Oh, what a cute little bear. Oh, it was a cute little bear.
It's evil.
We're on a united front. Baby is evil. And radio is broken. Baby's just straight up trying to kill them. This is all out murder attempt. Elder Kettle comes back to a literal house on fire.
My radio!
And he sees that his radio is destroyed. He is about to kill, and then he sees how cute the baby is. And he's like, okay. And then he sees how evil the baby is, and they lock him in the room. He also rips off his mustache, and then he just says Band-Aid where his mustache is, which is very funny and looks very painful. And the episode ends with them pawning the baby off on an unsuspecting neighbor, which is probably unethical, but they were faced with tough decisions. Episode 3 is called Ribbian Croaks. You guys, if you played the game, will recognize those 2 characters as the fighting frogs from one of the earlier levels.
You expect me to believe that you sleep, ate an entire container of ice cream?
So the boys are fighting about not having ice cream in the house. Typical boy stuff, I guess.
You boys are family. No use getting bent out of shape about little stuff.
The way they look at each other is such sibling energy. Elder Kettle gives them $5, tells them to get out of the house for a while, which, by the way, $5 was a lot of money back then. So they're arguing about what to do with the money when they come across the fly trap, which is Ribbian Croaks. Not speakeasy, but like a club.
Mugsy, look! Free ice cream with entry.
Oh god, he just took his head off. That was disturbing.
How much you got?
$5 and some lint. Yeah, so they get kicked out. They don't get to go in.
Oh, hello, Mr. Mayor. This is Mr. Mayor.
The mayor shows up. They're ladybugs. They're so tiny. But the boys see that there is ice cream in that club, so they have to get in there. So they climb in through the vents.
She washed and clothed and fed us.
Oh, we get another sad song about their mom. About the first sign of commotion, all hell breaks loose.
Come here, Firefly.
This poor Firefly, what the hell is this? Looks very uncomfortable. These guys are fighting in front of the customers. It's not going well. The Cuphead and Mugman have been iced. Zootopia style.
Awesome.
And things are looking bleak before the guy that's about to kill them, his girlfriend, starts chewing him out.
You missed my parents' anniversary! You missed our anniversary!
So they get away. There's a chase scene set to music from this level in the ride, or, no, I'm sorry, game, not ride. The rides happen in the Carnival levels, which are in fact evil, by the way.
I need to say something.
Right now, Mugman, this is not a good time.
Was sleep eating my ice cream?
I awake ate it.
I awake ate your ice cream too.
You did? Aww.
Oh, brother hug.
Anything in the past is water under the wood.
Yeah, long story short, because of the fight that broke out, everything caught on fire, and now the whole boat is sunk.
I trust you had a wonderful evening.
I don't think they did. They get their ice cream, that's the end of that episode. Moving on. Episode 4, Handle with Care. I already forget which one this one is. Oh, I remember. Okay, so the two boys are having like a blindfolded pillow fight, and then Mugman literally broke his mug. His handle is gone. And he doesn't seem to notice. So again, so many questions about these sentient cups and how they are alive. That's traumatizing. What if you just lost part of your skull? And he still has feeling in it. Oh my god. So they're trying to find some way to reattach it. You would think this would be a 911 situation, yes? Gluing it with honey doesn't work because bears.
Oh, you're getting all waked up over nothing.
So Mugman's being kind of gaslit into believing that it's not that big of a deal. He's having a nervous breakdown.
Glue is glue.
They remember glue exists before they can get some more glue. Elder Kettle flips his shit.
I get that you don't want to be seen, but why do I gotta do stuff?
I don't think the way to not draw attention is to pretend to be a bride. Everyone turns and looks at the bride. So not wanting to be Bowl Boy forever, they go to Pork Rind, who's another character from the game. You get special items from him. And they're like, please help. Give us some glue. So they're looking at other handle shapes. None of them look good. He just needs his old handle back. But there's no glue, so this is a problem.
Excuse us for a moment, Cuphead.
Of course.
So Elder Cuddle comes in and kind of has like a 90s stepdad moment with Mugman.
It's about time your baby handles fell off.
He tells him that he's just lost his baby handle and it's like some weird like cup person puberty thing, which is strange.
Back when I was but a wee little kettle.
Elder Kettle flashback. Oh, what a cute little baby kettle he was.
Why, that means you're getting a visit from the Handle Fairy.
Yeah, the Handle Fairy is like their tooth fairy, so he's like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
And there it was, my shiny new
Manhandle.
Manhandle, Jesus. Yeah, so it's like the Tooth Fairy if the Tooth Fairy didn't give you money, but instead gave you a brand new tooth. So Cuphead breaks his handle off because he also wants a visit from the Handle Fairy. And then they go to sleep and wake up the next morning.
The Handle Fairy came. Get a load of these manhandles.
And the big joke is that Elder Kettle dressed up like a fairy and glued their handles back on.
Cheers.
Again, everything about that is horrifying. But that's the end of that episode. Everybody's fine. Fine in quotation marks, I guess. Episode 5 is called Roll the Dice. This is a really great episode because it introduces us to King Dice, who is voiced by Wayne Brady in the show. King Dice is a direct reference to Cab Calloway, the famous jazz singer.
Featuring your master of ceremonies, King Dice!
So Roll the Dice is like the biggest game show on radio, and King Dice is the host.
You!
Yay! I love that phone. That poor phone goes through so much in this whole season.
Which is the only mammal that cannot jump?
Elephants. I weirdly know that from that one episode of Monk where Captain's trying to hit on his soon-to-be girlfriend, and he's awkward, and he tells her that elephants can't jump. If you know, you know. But the game is very shady, where you win, and then you get to go into a room, and then the devil takes your soul. You see how that's winning? Very shady. I do not care for it.
Who's the host with the most? You are your handsome devil.
Oh god, I don't like that the reflection talks to him. Unsettling. But we see that they have wanted posters up for Cuphead because the devil still wants his soul. Cuphead and Mugman, by sheer accident, show up, and Cuphead gets chosen to be on stage.
My name is Cuphead. I like roller coasters and hot dogs and tilt-a-whirl.
He's being very Cuphead about it. And then King Dice makes the connection, and he's like, oh shit. That could be such a usable gif of him just like looking back and forth.
Hey boss, phone call.
My favorite part about this is that the devil takes bubble baths with cucumbers.
A certain cup.
You actually have him?
So he promises the devil that he can get Cuphead's soul for him.
Sprinkle, sprinkle, Mr. Car?
No, it's definitely the alphabet.
My brother Mugman is the smartest person I know.
Poor Mugman, this is a whole mood. So, getting him to win is kind of like pulling teeth, but King Dice finally gets it to happen.
Now it's time to roll the dice.
Rolling the dice is also like pulling teeth. Dice blow up, so this is not going well. So he finally just pushes him through the door, and he's like, whatever, just get in there.
You're going in that room one way or another.
But they get away, and then the devil shows up and is like, what the hell, man? Sweet ride for the devil, by the way.
Boss wants to see you.
Oh, I take it back. The devil's assistant shows up, and it's just like, you gotta come to the office now.
It's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star!
Oh yeah, that too. So after this very awkward ride down to literal hell.
You know Henchman, don't you?
Hi, henchman.
Silence!
Oh shit, where is he? Oh, I love these 3D models that they're using, by the way. So the episode ends with the devil taking King Dice's hosting privileges away, and now Henchman hosts the show. So good for him. He's trying his best. Moving on to episode 6, which is my favorite episode of the entire season. It's called Ghosts Ain't Real. It's got very Halloween-y vibes. The boys get out of a creepy zombie horror movie and decide to take a shortcut through a cemetery to get home. Very good idea.
Nothing scary about that.
Never a bad idea. Yeah, we see a lot more of the 3D modeling and the, obviously watercolor backgrounds. It's just beautiful. I love this so much.
Nothing scary about a graveyard. It's just a yard. Yards are for playing. We have a yard at home. We should vacation here. We should live here.
So they're getting progressively more terrified as the sun goes down.
Well, I know what we're doing tonight.
And there's a trio of ghosts, which reminds me very much of the classic Lonesome Ghosts Mickey Mouse cartoon. God, that guy has a saw in his head. He died in a very terrible way. Poor boy. So now they're locked in.
But what about ghosts? Banana Royal.
And Cuphead's like, ghosts ain't real.
Ghosts ain't real.
That's the name of the episode. And then the ghosts are offended.
You hear that? We ain't real.
I'm allergic to dead people.
I'm allergic to dead people. So Cuphead is trying to kind of pep talk Mugman into not being afraid.
'Cause why? 'Cause I'm a big, strong man? Well, sure.
And he keeps insisting that ghosts aren't real.
Ghosts ain't real.
Ghosts ain't real, I apologize. But the ghosts who very much are real are messing with them.
I know you're just trying to scare me.
Tying his shoelaces together, that's low.
Job for the evening, love.
Oh, jeez. I'm just so... Everything about this show and how these characters are sentient, the more I learn, the less I wish I had learned. I miss ignorance.
Ghosts ain't real.
Yeah, we get it. You're real.
If you see things that you can't explain.
So we get another song. The ghosts are having their moment. This is what they've been waiting for their whole afterlives. This is very reminiscent of the skeleton dance. I love it. They chase him into this haunted house, and then they fall out of a window, and the ghosts literally think they killed them. Which, one, is very violent, and two, I don't know why they think that, because where are their ghosts? Like, they're ghosts. They should know that their spirit's gonna show up.
Huh?
Lo and behold, they are not dead. They just were pretending to be dead, and now they've escaped. They run back home, where they're like missing teeth, and they're much worse for wear.
Hideous zombies! face!
And then, of course, Elder Kettle thinks that they're a zombie. You know, because of the callback to the movie they were watching in the beginning. Jesus, Elder Kettle, calm down. Okay, so that's the end of that episode. We are now officially halfway through the series. How you doing? I know we're kind of going fast, but I'm trying to make sure you get all the important information. I also really want you guys to go and watch this show if you're able to, because I think they really did a good job. It's just a very fun cartoon. And it's a very easy watch, and I guess I take it back. The episodes are really only 10 minutes apiece, so, you know, that's more like 2 hours of content total, so not a big time commitment either. Okay, let's jump into the second half. Episode 7 is called Root Pact. You will remember the vegetables from that early level if you've played the game. It's one of the easier levels, to be sure. That doesn't mean that it is easy by any means.
I sprinkle them with love and care.
Elder Kettle is singing to his tomatoes. He's a proud plant dad.
Oh, my back!
Then he throws his back out. He's bedridden. He's worried about not the children that are in his care, Cuphead and Mugman. He's worried about the plants. But they offer to take care of his plants for him.
You're up to something.
Out like a light. Now let's scram and catch that picture show.
And then try to ditch his plants because Elder Kettle is a very smart man and he knows what's up.
We promised we'd take care of his babies.
But Mugman makes them do the right thing. And then in the shed, they find these 3 vegetables who are stealing their fertilizer. They're just chowing down.
We're, orphans.
They give them a very obvious lie about being orphans.
Well, heck, no one takes better care of veggies than veggies.
They tell the boys to go off and have fun, that they'll take care of the plants, and then they don't. They've, like, set up a whole, like, club, and there's a bouncer at the door.
Hey, let me introduce you to some friends of mine, the Heirloom Sisters.
The potato guy has 2 tomato girlfriends. They're very effeminate tomatoes. I feel like in season 2, somebody's gonna put them in go-go boots and then Tucker Carlson's gonna be mad about it. So they try to get everything shut down, but it's not working. I don't know how Elder Kettle isn't hearing this. He must be able to just sleep through anything. And then very disturbingly, they drink through their roots, which is just drying up Elder Kettle's plants.
Operator, get me the police.
They call the police, who do absolutely nothing.
You ain't on the list.
Sorry, boys. We gave it a shot.
Very typical.
This party ain't over till the sun comes up.
They try to literally pull the moon out of the sky.
You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
And defeated, they're sat at the veggie bar. I don't mean like a topping bar. I mean like the vegetables have a bar set up where they just drink out of watering cans because they're vegetables. All they drink is water. That's kind of funny.
Poor Elder Kettle. Without his garden, he's got nothing to live for.
And because the onion has proven to be kind of the bleeding heart, they start trying to guilt trip him about Elder Kettle's plants. And it works. He starts crying, and then, like, his onion fumes get to everybody else, and everybody's crying. Place literally gets flooded by everybody's tears. Everybody gets washed out, and then the plants are healthier than ever. And then in revenge, they just, like, plant down on the ground, and they're just, like, water, and they suck all the water out of the ground. So now there's no saving the plants. They're dead.
My babies! You grew up to be so big!
But then Elder Kettle sees the plants that were, like, stealing from them and thinks that they're his plants all grown up, which, like, did he not know what he planted? That isn't even remotely what he had planted.
Now it's time to make Elder Kettle's famous baby stew.
And then he's like, yay, I'm gonna chop you up into a stew, and then they go running off, and that's the end of the episode. Alright, episode, what are we on? 8? Episode 8 is called Sweater Off Dead. We are making pancakes again. Oh god, jeez. Skeleton Elder Kettle, Skelter Kettle.
Your soul is mine.
So Cuphead wakes up from his reoccurring nightmare that the devil is gonna take his soul, and so Mugman's like, fuck it, we gotta fix this. Meanwhile, the devil is kind of doing really great business.
So this is where we do war.
Jesus.
A celebration!
So he calls an office party, which really does feel like hell.
What's he talking about? I don't know, but we haven't had a break in 3,000 years, so just go with it.
Relatable.
Excuse me.
And then his accountant shows up and he's like, hey, I noticed that there's one soul missing. What the fuck is that about?
It is a cup.
Thank you,
Stickler, our very diligent auditor.
His name is Stickler. He's the auditor. Meanwhile, Cuphead and Mugman head out to this little fountain, or like wishing well. They put a jawbreaker in, and then the fountain starts talking to them. I don't know how the science of that works, but it doesn't matter.
I am Quadratus the Great and Wise.
Another character straight from the game, this little wishing well, will tell you how many times you've died in-game, which I'm sure when I do the stream is going to be very funny because I'm not particularly good at Cuphead. I love it, but I die a lot, so... Sorry, I can't get situated in my chair.
A sweater knit with invisible fur.
You stopped rhyming.
It gets old.
Yeah, I can see that. So he gives Mugman an invisible ball of yarn and tells him to make a sweater for Cuphead, because that'll, like, protect him against the devil taking his soul. So Stickler's not letting the devil have any fun at his Satan office party. Not until he gets Cuphead's soul. So he shows up and he's like, you know what? Fine, I'll get his soul. Shows up to where Cuphead and Mugman are. But Mugman's already made the sweater, so he can't do shit.
You're wearing an impenetrable invisible sweater!
The show also kind of gives me SpongeBob vibes, and I like that.
Take it off and I'll give you $10.
Oh boy, $10! No, Cuphead, your soul's worth more than $10. Hey, you're right!
Oh, I love Cuphead. So the devil keeps trying to trick him into taking the sweater off. He keeps almost falling for it, but Mugman is a lot smarter than Cuphead is.
But take it off, and that's much better.
Quadratus doesn't have horns.
The horns are a nice touch.
I'm cooking in here.
Just walk away, Cuphead. Just get away from the fire. But Mugman saves his life again. Something, something brotherly love.
It works on account of our brotherly love.
Of course it does.
And so the devil's just like, whatever. So he just goes back to hell and he tells Stickler that he got his soul.
Where's that cake?
I want cake.
Who must we officially account?
I guess the auditor will have to do a full recount.
Man, it's gotta be rough to be the Devil's Auditor. Devil's Auditor would be a great name for a band. So Cuphead is safe and sound with his invisible sweater, for now anyway. Speaking of the sweater, the very next episode is called Sweater Luck Next Time.
You look mad for somebody who just got that cup soul.
So Satan's venting about not actually having the soul.
It's a new ride down at the Inkwell Pier. They say it goes so fast, it'll tear the clothes right off of you.
Oh, and here we have Chekhov's Obliterator. There's this new ride down at the Carnival called the Obliterator. It will come in handy later. This, by the way, is my second favorite episode in the whole show. So far, I'll show you why. We see a montage of Satan just trying to get Cuphead's soul. So the boys decide to go ride the new Obliterator ride, and who they run into? The devil.
Just meet me around back.
Listen, you little shoehorn!
The devil just getting bossed around by two children is pretty funny.
What's with all the noise?
Nothing.
Elder Kettle could not be less bothered. And more bothered at the same time. It's really impressive. So the devil burns up their fence, and Cuphead basically tells him, paint the fence for us and we'll give over my soul. And then as the devil's getting very into the whole painting thing, look at this colorful motif he has going on. Cuphead and Mugman sneak out. Such grace. By the time he finishes and realizes what's happened, he can't do anything about it but follow them out to the Carnival where the Obliterator is.
It'll tear the clothes right off of you.
Cuphead, in all of his infinite wisdom, took the sweater off, so Mugman is pissed.
I'll go. I don't want to...
And so he goes back home to get the sweater so that he can put it back on, leaving the devil and Cuphead to wait in line for this ride together. I would love to ride Carnival rides with the devil. This version of the devil. He seems like a good time.
How delightfully unexpected.
By the time they get to the front of the line, they're kind of buddies, but then Devil realizes what's up, and he's like, hell yeah.
He's not wearing the sweater. You are!
And then Mugman shows up and puts the sweater on Satan, which basically makes him self-destruct, kind of.
That went just as I planned.
He doesn't die, but he loses quite a lot of fur. So he's suffered a major setback, but now Cuphead has no sweater. that's the end of that episode. The boys get to ride the ride and lose most of their clothes, which sounds unpleasant, but anyway. Episode 10 is called Dangerous Mugman. Pork Rind is selling a box of very incriminating sounding stuff to a masked person that is definitely not the devil in disguise. And then Cuphead and Mugman come in with a bunch of nickels and they want to play this game.
Nickel me!
And between Cuphead playing the game and Mugman just talking Pork Rind's ear off, he's ready to kill them. Oh, good lord. Their milk brains are everywhere. Thankfully, that's just his daydreaming. You know, daydreaming about murdering children? Jesus Christ. So he sends him on this bogus errand to Mount Eruptus.
I can sense within you the bravery required to complete this mission. You, not so much.
And Mugman, who's not very brave, is kind of offended that he's called out for kind of being not very brave. So Cuphead pulls a Felix Felicius, isn't that what it's called in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, where they're like, here's some luck potion, and then it's kind of definitely a placebo. He does that to Mugman with these goggles, and he's like, these'll make you brave.
Oh, yeah! Cuphead, I'm feeling a little dangerous.
So this newfound bravery goes to Mugman's head. They almost die a bunch of times, and then he loses the goggles.
You haven't been wearing them for hours!
Oh god, don't chicken out now. You're on the edge of a cliff.
Now we're gonna die!
How do they die? They've been shattered like several times and they're still fine.
The goggles were inside me this whole time.
The real friends were the goggles we made along the way.
Gross.
Gross. So now Mugman has real confidence. They steal an egg. They bring it back to Pork Rind. He's like, what the hell is this?
Mount Eruptus cleaners!
They were supposed to pick up dry cleaning, not a dragon's egg. Pork Rind gives him the game and kicks him out. The dragon egg hatches. Look how cute it is. And then the mama comes to retrieve its child.
I hate those cups.
Poor Pork Rind. Okay, getting towards the end, episode 11 is called Dirt Nap.
Isn't he the greatest? Yeah, I can't believe how full of life he is.
Elder Kettle overhears what he thinks is the boys talking about him.
He's dirty, filthy, and disgusting.
He gets his feelings hurt. Also, I'd like to draw everybody's attention to the fact that apparently now, canonically, Elder Kettle fought in the First World War, so good for him.
My eyeballs are on fire!
Why is it so bright? Just your dear Elder Kettle.
Oh god, he's so shiny. So he's trying to prove something to the boys now. He almost dies by accident. He keeps eavesdropping and hears more terrible things.
Yeah, he's really gone downhill.
He now thinks they're trying to fully get rid of him, and the boys are just confused for their part.
Ta-da! Now close the window or now you're grounded.
He's like, stop, don't look at me. It's at this point that we realize that they're just talking about their dead worm, which is depressing.
He used to be so full of life.
We need to just put him out of his misery.
But now Elder Kettle thinks that they're full on gonna kill him.
We could just bury him in the backyard.
Christ, that does sound terrifying. So now he's going into full defense mode. Meanwhile, the boys are just trying to bury their worm friend.
Nothing like the taste of fresh soil.
Who's not dead anymore.
He's alive!
He's like a Jesus worm. And he crawls off to his new life. But now Elder Kettle still thinks his life is in danger. The house is just an absolute battlefield.
You'll never take me alive!
Elder Kettle is not fucking around. He then falls into every trap he set himself. And then they realize what happened and they're like, oh no, we weren't gonna kill you.
You weren't trying to kill me?
Kill you? You're our Elder Kettle.
But hey, by the way, you were definitely about to kill us. They don't say that, but I'm putting that in. He was truly about to just straight up kill them both. And then he falls into his own trap, and that's the end. Okay, one more episode, and then we are done. The final episode is called In Charm's Way. Boys are trying to steal cookies from above Elder Kettle's head. It doesn't work out.
There you are. Okay, boys, listen. You're actually listening for once.
Poor Elder Kettle is very blind. Right, so they've broken Elder Kettle's glasses.
Kindly turn that down. I hate Music.
This lady is very grumpy. And then in walks one of my favorite characters. And I love her, even though she only shows up here at the very end.
Dance across the rainbow!
She's got like big flapper energy. We love her. She gets chased down by a cop. I've got beef with that cop. I know most of us don't really like cops these days, but good lord. That bee cop is part of one of my least favorite levels in the whole game because of how difficult it is. She tickles this poor gumball machine and he drops all his gum, which is weird. But yeah, she's just getting free stuff left and right.
How about now?
Charming. So the boys are transfixed with her. They follow her into the movie theater.
She could definitely help us get Elder Kettle's cookie.
Shh. And then they follow her outside into the back alley where she beats them up.
All right, who are you two working for? Working? We don't have jobs.
Okay, hang on, calm down.
This Chalice is nothing but trouble.
Her name is Miss Chalice, and she is fantastic. And they just want to be her friend. I want to be her friend.
Oh, brother. Looks like I got a couple of real degenerates on my hands. Yep.
They did such a good job with all the like transatlantic accents of the time period. So then she teaches them how to manipulate people. She challenges them to sneak past this bear cop. The bear cop threatens violence. Typical. But then she gets them in. It's like, hey, pretty lady, you want to get me fired from my post? Just go right on in. So now they're in a cookie factory where they're just eating an all-you-can-eat cookie buffet. The dunking of the cookie in the milk is hilarious. And also, isn't that their brain? There's not enough questions. There's not enough time in the day for the questions that I have.
Chase it, boys, it's the cops!
And then she's like, meh, it's the fuzz. And then she runs.
Sorry, boys. I like ya, but not enough to tangle with the cops.
And then she leaves them behind, and then the cops catch up to them and throw them in jail. And that's the end. That's how the season ends. That is where we are. So, that was a very long ride. It boils down to, I very much enjoy this show. I think it is very fun. I know some people wanted it to be darker than it is because the game is somewhat darker, but I actually really enjoy it. I think it's really fun. It has like SpongeBob / new DuckTales era vibes, and I think it's really funny. Watched it with my brother who also loves the game, and we both laughed our grown-up asses off, and it was just really fun. I love the devil. That sounds weird to say out of context, but I do. And I love Miss Chalice, and I just think all the characters are really great embodiments of their personalities as they're set up in the game, and I just think it's a really great tribute to the game and to the animation style in general. So that was my very long video about Cuphead. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. Everything you do to support this channel means the world to me. Don't forget about that live stream. That is very, very important. I really hope I can see as many of you there as possible. If you're new here and you're a fan of nonsense, maybe consider sticking around because I post nonsense all the time. And remember, my name is Avery. I'm a YouTuber if you say so, because thanks to you guys, this is technically a YouTube channel. Bye!